Why did you decide to have an abortion? What made that decision the right one for you?
Um, for me, I figured, well, after a lot of thinking, I came to a conclusion that I simply not only wasn't ready to have a child and take care of a baby, because I know how much work it is. I have a friend that has a baby, and it's so much time and work, and me wanting to finish other things in life like school and being able to be self-sufficient and not depend on anybody. I'm not in that right point in my life, and plus, I mean, he wouldn't be necessarily the right candidate for that particular position, as a father.
Do you think it would be just as of Cyrus in general, or do you think him going to jail had a large play in it, or is it just Cyrus in general?
Well, it did have a large play in it. I've always wanted to have a baby. I mean, that's no question. I know that eventually I do want to have a child. It's a matter of when. And I mean, I love Cyrus so much, and I think that he would maybe have a lot to offer, but also, I can't bank on the fact that, maybe he won't be going to jail or, and not be able to be a part of my child's life.
Yeah. How'd you go about getting an abortion? Did you just go to a clinic? Or?
Yeah, I'd heard about this place, where they do abortions in the area, and I called them and asked them some questions. I mean, I was really scared because it was taking a part of my body away. It wasn't something that I would just let anybody do. So, I asked a lot of questions and went in about a week later, and we were able to do it. So.
Did you wind up going by yourself, or did you have someone go with you for like support or anything?
Well, I did have a friend go with me. I had my friend Brittany go with me, and she kind of, let me know that you're making the right decision and kind of held me strong. And
how did you get the money for the abortion?
luckily, I had enough money saved to where I could afford it. Just working, try to hold a good savings for emergencies. Not something like this necessarily, but I paid for it myself.
Okay. After the abortion, after you got that done, the first encounter with Cyrus, the first time you saw him after the abortion, what was that like?
After my first encounter with him, I was really just in my head trying to read trying to really feel out what to do and what to say. I felt kind of like I was walking on eggshells almost, being around him, because I didn't know when to approach him or how to approach him, or I'd already obviously made a decision, so it was just a matter of kind of when and.
Yeah. Did you, were you able to just like go about your daily routine? Like, did you guys just hang out? Did you?
Yeah, I was able to pretty much hold it together. It was kind of hard just feeling that way, but at the same time, I'm kind of the person to be able to suppress my emotions and not come forth with that, I mean, he thought something was kind of wrong that day. He'd asked me if I was okay, and I, told him, no, I'm fine. But really, I mean.
How did you feel, like in general, being with him after that? Like, how was your like response to him, like inside, or just for the situation?
I kind of felt some, a little bit of hostility towards him.
Yeah.
Because it just made me mad that this had happened. And I mean, it's not his fault. It's I'm not going to blame it on him or anything, but I mean, I had to have felt some type of hostility towards him, for what he'd kind of done to me.
Did you feel driven to tell him right away, or like, did you just know that a time would come that would be right to tell him, or how did you decide when was the right time?
Well, I decided to tell him when, after I found out he was going to jail again, and he's such a playful person, and just with our interactions, you know, when we were sitting in the truck and just kind of reading him and thinking in my head, okay, this kind of has to be something that's an eye-opener for him. Maybe tell him something about himself, you know, that this is the decision I made, because I mean, I didn't have to tell him. I could have just, you know, never told him and kept it inside, but I felt like not only did it have to be something that he would have to cope with, you know, but me cope with as well, so.
Okay, where do you picture yourself after you leave Cyrus? Like,
well, I'm a pretty strong individual. I think that I have a lot ahead of me that I don't really know what's ahead. I mean, I see myself finishing school, and I don't see any relationship in the future necessarily right now, but I